Hey guys, it's Anastasia with Anastasia's Real Meals. And if you're a real person living in a real kitchen with a real full-time job, I invite you to cook with me. Real simple meals that you can do in the time it takes the delivery guy to come. You don't need to call delivery. You can make your own meals with these simple ingredients. Today, I'm gonna make Big Mama Brussels sprouts. That's what I call them. And it's basic ingredients, it's vegetables and a protein, and I'm just going to put it together, and it's simple and you can feed a lot of people and it's really fun to do. I'm going to start with my stuff. I need Brussels sprouts, garlic, cauliflower, and 1 red onion. And guys, I'm getting this stuff as I'm talking so that you can see that this won't take you a lot of time. I also need apple cider vinegar, and if you don't have that, you can use any vinegar, and if you don't have that, you don't need vinegar. Some oil, crushed fire roasted tomatoes. I just add these for flavor. You can use any tomato sauce, you can use diced tomatoes, you can use fresh tomatoes. Some turkey bacon, rice, and salt and pepper. Here's my turkey bacon, here's my rice, and I got my salt and pepper. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut my vegetables. I have my red onion, and I have my Brussels sprouts. Since I don't have a colander, so I pre-wash my vegetables when I get them so that when I want to make dinner, I just pull them out and do it. My cauliflower florets are just ready to go. They're actually ready to be microwaved, but I'm going to bake these straight from Fresh Direct. I love Fresh Direct, especially for you guys that are working. Fresh Direct is really the way to go. So the way I cut Brussels sprouts is I cut the ends off, the little nubbin, and then I cut them in half. And I do that with all of them. I just cut the end off, and I cut them in half. And half. And I almost messed up there. Half. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of them. I'm just going to start on my onion so you can see how I do it. It's funny, you guys know how kids allegedly hate Brussels sprouts, and there's this whole big thing that nobody likes Brussels sprouts. They're actually jam-packed with nutrients, and when I was a kid, my first language was Greek, so I just thought they were baby cabbages. I was that kid that didn't know the English word for a lot of things. So when people would say, I hate Brussels sprouts, I'd be like, oh, I hate them too. And then suddenly I'm eating them at dinner time, and people are like, I thought you hated them, you liar. So with the onion, I'm cutting it so that it's strips. You can dice it if you want. You can cut it however you want, but I like strips for this meal. And I'm just gonna go in and just make sure. And guys, these ingredients that I'm using, I know the meal is called Brussels sprouts. Obviously, if you don't like Brussels sprouts, use peppers. Peppers could be awesome with this meal. Or if you don't like onions, swap it out for something else, or don't use onions. The point here is you can use healthy ingredients so that you know what's going into your body. Even if you work, even if you have a full-time job, God knows how many times I get home at 7 or 8, and I try to whip up some dinner. And I always like to get extra, that's why I have so many Brussels sprouts here. And in the next episode, I'll show you how to use these leftovers to make something completely different that you can enjoy for 2 nights in a row. It's really hard when you're working and you're starving after work and you don't know what to do. The best thing ever is when you can whip something up real quick and eat it. I'm just going to continue chopping my vegetables. So right now I have my oven on 400, it's preheating. So now as you can see with the Brussels sprouts, I cut the butt and then in half with all of them. And then I sliced my onions so that they're sliced like this. You can chop them, you can do whatever you want like I said. Now I'm going to save me some onion for later and put it over there. And I'm going to take my foiled baking sheet and I'm gonna strew my Brussels sprouts on, is strew a word? I don't even know. Right on it. Just really flow them on there. And my cauliflower. Normally I bite the bag, but it's rude. I have company. Don't stab yourself. Now my oven's preheated. I'm just gonna cut some of these with my hands, no big deal. So they're smaller. And guys, if you don't like cauliflower, start to like it. This stuff is so good for you. It has so many nutrients. I read that about its cancer fighting abilities. It's extremely good for your body and good for your health. And if you spice it and put some olive oil and throw it in the oven or steam it, it's actually a really delicious meal. One of my vegan friends was having a party and she made buffalo cauliflower, like buffalo wings, and it was delicious. I thought I'd hate it and I loved it. Okay, so let's see what I'm doing now. So I'm gonna salt and pepper. I basically make up these meals as easy as I can get. I just roll with it, whatever I have, whatever vegetables I can get from Fresh Direct. I put 4 or 5, about a teaspoon of salt and some pepper, as much as you want to taste. And I basically write them down in my book so that I don't forget them. And if you guys change an ingredient, I'm also going to put some olive oil, just drizzle it on there as much as you want or as little as you want. And I'm going to start cooking real dirty and just get my hands all up in there. It's not oily enough. Things are getting real dirty in my kitchen. Okay. So now that they're all oiled up and sexy, I'm going to pop them in my oven for about 25 minutes. While that's cooking, let's make the rice real quick. So I have my just white rice. I have basmati. And I don't have measuring cups. I'm a real person. I'm kidding. Real people have measuring cups. But my mason jar cups, because I'm really trying to be cool here, have a measuring device. But when you're measuring rice, your fist is basically 1 cup. I'll show you. I'll measure it. It's basically my fist. So that's a cup, just so you know. So for my rice, 1 cup to 1.5 water. I'm gonna dump it in there. Got a little carried away with the water. I'm gonna salt it. And I'm gonna turn my stove on high and let that boil. Now while that's boiling, it's turkey bacon time. I'm gonna take out my turkey bacon. I always have a hard time with the meats. That's what she said. I'm gonna take my turkey bacon and I'm just gonna cook it on high. This is just organic turkey bacon. Like I said in the previous episode, it's the meat where I try to go organic. Others, I do try to get organic food just so that I know what's going into my body, but especially meat, I really try. So I'm just going to cook my turkey bacon. I have the lid off this until it's cooked. I'm going to slather it all in there. And turn it on high and let that cook. Clean up a little bit. I usually like to just have my garbage can right under me so I can fling everything in there. While all that's cooking, I'm just going to prepare my garlic. I'm going to take a piece of garlic. I have about 2.5 cloves of garlic here. Break it and smell it, and it smells so good. If you break it, it peels very easily. So I'm going to save me some garlic for later. And I'm going to open my fire roasted tomatoes, if I can. Now I'm watching periodically to make sure my water didn't boil. That's ready. Everything's prepared. I'm going to cook the turkey bacon fully. I'm going to cook the rice fully. For the rice, you let the water boil. You cover it. Put the stove on low for 20 minutes and then you take it off and fluff it. I'm gonna do all of that, take my vegetables out of the oven for after around 25 minutes, and we're golden. Okay, so the turkey bacon's cooked. I cooked it about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. And I'm going to take it out of the pan and put it on a couple of paper towels. And I'm going to save me some turkey bacon for later. Put that aside. Now, in the same turkey bacon pan, there's some really, really good turkey bacon fat or whatever the hell it is. All I know is I'd love to drink it, which is disgusting, but I would love to. I'm just going to put my onions right in there. I'm going to cut up my garlic just into pieces like this. I have about 2½ cloves of garlic, and I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to shake my apple cider vinegar. If you don't like vinegar, you don't need it. I love vinegar, and I think the apple cider vinegar gives this an awesome taste. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. I don't have tablespoons. I'm just going to use a big spoon. And guys, it's okay if it goes a little overboard. Sometimes I like to just get real serious with my spices and my oils and my vinegars. I mean, not so much the oils. And I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of oil. I'm using olive oil. I'm going to mix it around a little. And I'm going to put my stove between high and medium. And I'm just going to let that cook a little bit. Let the onions get transparent. Now, if you're cooking with me, I'm going to cook the onions for about 10 minutes. And while that's happening, I can chop my turkey bacon. We're doing it at the same time. I just piled the turkey bacon in one big hunk of burning love. And I'm just going to slice it in just slices like this. It's not going to be even. You can chop it if you want. The point is to get it small enough so that it can fit in a bite, but still be hearty enough so you can taste the wonderful flavor of turkey bacon. So this happened. I'll put that aside. It's all chopped. I'm going to put my stovetop on low and cover my onions for about 10 more minutes. Hello, everybody. I love turkey bacon. So we had our onions and our garlic cooking on low for about 10-15 minutes. We had our rice is still cooking. It's been about 20 minutes. We have our vegetables in the oven for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go 20-25 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take these out. They smell and look amazing. Guys, seriously, they're a little burnt at the top. It looks so good. I'm going to turn off my rice. So now that that just happened, I'm going to put my onions back on low, and I'm just going to dump my crushed tomatoes, my fire roasted tomatoes in there. And you know what? I want the flavors of everything else to come out, so I used about half of a 28-ounce can. You can probably use 1 15-ounce can. Just gonna mix it around, and I'm gonna dump my turkey bacon in there and not trip over my dog. I'm just gonna mix that up so it gathers all the flavors. Now you can smell the garlic, you can smell the onions, you can smell the apple cider vinegar. Everything smells so good, and it's gonna be so good for you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my vegetables from the oven, my cauliflower and my Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to put them right in here. I put the stove on to medium now. So I mix up all my vegetables, and I see that I might want a little more tomato sauce, fire roasted tomatoes. These are crushed. So I'm just gonna use the whole damn can is what I'm gonna do. So I actually did dump a whole 28 ounce. And guys, cooking like this is all about your preference. You might hate tomatoes, don't use it. Add a little more vinegar, add a little more oil and salt. It'll be just as good, and you can taste the flavors. It'll be so good. I'm getting real crazy with this. So my stovetop is still on medium. I'm just gonna let that heat a little. And guys, the reason why I have this video series is just to show you that cooking is easy, especially if you have a full-time job. When I know what's going into my body, I feel a lot better with myself. When I know that I'm exercising because I can see it on my awesome Fitbit, I know that I'm just making overall good decisions because I'm always stressed at work. So that's nice and heated up. I'm going to take my rice. I'm just going to fluff it a little. It looks so nice and fluffy. Just going to scoop some rice on a plate. I'm going to turn off my vegetables, turn the stove off. I'm going to mix it up a little more just to get every single flavor, all of what melded together. Food porn. Food and porn. And I'm just going to put it right on top of the rice. Guys, this beats delivery, and it's low in calories, and you know what you're eating, and you did it yourself. Guys, it took me less than half an hour. Before I spill it everywhere, I'm just gonna try it. That's a good big mama Brussels sprout.